Hey everyone, Val here, and this morning I'm going to be making some coconut oatmeal muffins. So I thought I would bring you along and let you see this recipe. I haven't made the recipe before, but I got this offline and I thought that I would share it with you. I'm going to be making these to go up to the Women's Club tomorrow. We have our monthly meeting and I am one of the hostesses, so I volunteered to make a couple of dishes. I did make another muffin recipe. I posted that a little while earlier, maybe a week ago or so. So go and check that one out. And then I may have one more recipe coming up. So be on the lookout for recipes. You just never know when I'm gonna pop them in there in my my lineup. So anyway, if you're not subscribed, I want to remind you to subscribe. That way you can catch my recipes when I post them and hang out with me on my daily adventures. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the recipe, and then give the video a thumbs up. All that good stuff that YouTube wants you to do. So let me turn you around. I'm going to show you the recipe and then I'm going to show you the ingredients, and then we'll get started making the muffins. So this is the recipe and these are the ingredients, and this is the instructions, and there's your nutritional information. So go ahead and pause that if you want to write that down. That'd be great. So I'm starting out with 2 eggs, 1/3 cup of agave nectar. I'm going to be using honey. I got a 1/4 cup of cooking oil or vegetable oil, 3/4 cup of low-fat buttermilk. I'm using 1%. A teaspoon of vanilla, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and I've sifted it. I have 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I have a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I have 2 cups of rolled oats, old-fashioned oatmeal, and then I have a cup of sweetened coconut flakes. I actually am using unsweetened because I didn't have any sweetened ones, so I'm using unsweetened. And then I have a 1 cup of the coconut flakes over here for the topping. Well, it was 1 cup here and then a 1/2 cup here for the topping. It's saying to preheat the oven to 350, which I already have done. And then it's saying to line your muffin pans or spray your muffin pan. I'm going to be spraying mine. I have cooking spray here, so I'm going to be spraying my pans. So it's saying to take the 1 cup of coconut and to fill this with milk. And I'm using just 2% milk. It just wants the coconut to be soaked. So I'm just going to go ahead and stir the milk in there to soak that. I think that'll be enough milk. And I'm going to let this soak while we're fixing the rest of the recipe. It just wants it to soak it all up in there. Add a little bit more there. I love coconut. Coconut's one of my favorite things. So I'm excited to be able to try this recipe. Okay, that looks good. That's plenty of milk in there. So we'll set this aside. We're going to soak this while we're making the rest of the recipe, and we'll come back to this. Alright, so it's saying in a large bowl, I'm going to mix together my 2 eggs. So let me put my 2 eggs. my agave syrup, which is going to be my honey. My buttermilk. I used to love buttermilk growing up. I would drink that straight. My oil. And my vanilla. And I'm going to whisk it. It's saying to whisk it together. So it says whisk together eggs, syrup, buttermilk, oil, and vanilla. Whisk it until it's combined. All right, that's good. Now I'm going to take my flour and I'm going to add my baking soda and my baking powder and my salt. Just give that a quick mix. Get that all. This flour is sifted. I sifted it into this bowl. So I'm going to be adding this into my liquid mixture here. We're going to mix this up. That's nice. All right, so then we're going to mix in the oats. And the coconut flakes. So it's what's it saying to do with the coconut flakes. These are the flakes that we were mixing in water. We're going to, it's saying to try to drain the water, squeeze the water out of them, or squeeze the milk out of them, I'm sorry. We're soaking them in milk. We're going to squeeze the milk out of them and put them into our mixture. So make sure I can get most of them out of there. I guess it wanted it to have some kind of moisture. It didn't want them to be dry. But that, I'm not feeling too many more in there. We can just dispose of that. My hands were clean. So let's mix this up. Always wash your hands before you cook. That looks nice. All right, that looks nice. I'm going to be using these mini loaf pans, and then I'll just cut slices out of those because these are going to be bite size for the ladies. This is kind of like a brunch tea. You know, they have a lot of things to choose from. So I'm going to spray it with my cooking spray so they don't stick. And this is saying to cook them for 18 to 20 minutes. This is probably going to take a little bit longer because they're going to be bigger than a regular muffin. So I'm thinking probably 20-25 minutes, but I will tell you how long it takes when I pull them out. So I'm going to do probably, oops, a half to 3/4 of the pan, because this is, you know, I'm going to cut these down. So I might get 5 or 6 pans out of here. Oops, I'm making a mess. Get in there. So I'll get 6 out of this with the mini loaves. Okay, then we take the 1/2 cup of the coconut that we have left over, and we're going to sprinkle this on the top. It's going to make pretty loaves. Alright, we're going to stick it in this preheated oven for, I'm going to go with, I'm going to start with 20 minutes and then we'll check it. That was about 22 minutes. The coconut on top is nice and toasted. It looks pretty. It smells really good. I'm just going to let them cool here, and then we'll put them in a pan and we'll cut them tomorrow. When I cut them, I will show you what they look like, and maybe we can take a quick taste of one of them. So I have one of the breads, and we're going to cut this and give a little taste. So I'm put it down here on my tray, on my board where I can cut it. And I'm just going to be cutting small pieces on these to arrange them on the tray. And that's what it's looking like. It cut really nicely. I think it's going to make nice little slices, and then it's going to have the coconut is still laid up there on the top very nicely. So let's try this. I love coconut. It's not sweet at all. I think if I would have used sweetened coconut, it'll give a little more sweetness, but this really has no sweetness to it at all. Which is fine for me. I hope everybody else likes it, but I'll see how people do. I think it's a little dry. I would put it definitely in like a coffee cake category. You're probably going to need some water with it. And not water, but I drink water all the time. But coffee or something with it. It's dry. I put it in a drier texture. I don't know if that's something that I would make again. Or if I did, I'd use sweetened coconut. But I followed the recipe. It's a drier cake. If you want a drier cake, then it would be fine. But the recipe said that it was really moist, which it didn't come out moist at all. I'm not sure why. So I'm going to cut it up and arrange it on the platter. And I'll show you when we're finished. And I want to remind you all to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed and you want to, and I will catch you on tomorrow's video. It's all about the adventure. It's an adventure in cooking too. Remember that. So try something new. Catch you tomorrow. Bye now.